Hi guys, so we are ready for our next project, and first I just want to apologise for the lighting in this first section of the video. It'll get better at about 5 minutes. We're going to be making a flip book, which is what I'm showing you here. This one was made with a different kit, but that is the general idea. It's a little book with pages and flaps and pockets that you can pop things in to send to your pen pal. So we're starting off with a piece of cardstock of your choosing, and it is 11 inches by 6 inches. And then we are going to score it at 2 inches, 5 inches and 8 inches. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can just mark it with a ruler and score it that way. And then you want to fold in the 2 outside flaps. One of them should be smaller. And then fold it in half, and that is how your book is going to look. So the first bit we are going to decorate is the thinner flap at the left hand side. We're going to turn that into a little secretarial pocket. So it measures 2 inches wide, and I'm just going to put a strip of the DSP paper from the kit on there. I do recommend that you cut it slightly less than 2 inches just to allow for the fold. I think I did mine at 1 3/4. So I have just trimmed that off. So it's 1 3/4 inches by 5 3/4, just to allow for the gap. And I've rounded off my corners because I'm sure I mentioned in the other video that I hate to see a square corner. And I have just going to glue that on there. I've shown you it with the cardstock behind it just so you can see where the pocket is. So we're just gluing that on there with some snail. Someone did ask me what snail is. Snail is the tape runner adhesive that we sell at Stampin' Up, and it is fantastic. You get snail and you get fast fuse, which is a really strong version of it, and then you can get refills. And once you've stuck your DSP on, you're just going to want to stick down the top and the bottom of your pocket, but not the long edge, because that is going to be the opening. And that gives you a little secretarial pocket that you can tuck things into. To decorate it a little bit, I have put on a heart die cut in the pool party colour, and then a real red arrow just to give it a nice little accent. So that is the first page done, and you can put a letter or a little gift or anything you like in there. Originally, I usually put my letters in there, but in this one I changed it for something else. So now the lighting's improved, so hopefully you'll be able to see a little better. So the next page we are going to work on is the centre page, I believe. That's just me double checking what page I'm on. Yep, we are on the centre page. So with a flip book, you can add anything you like. I'm just showing you here, you could stick a little envelope on there if you wanted. You can put a pocket or a flap. It is entirely up to you. So I am using that trusty banner technique that I showed you in the pocket letter video. And I'm just going to add that on there with a staple. And I've just created another little banner using some red DSP. Just add that on there to give it a little bit of extra interest. And I've left it loose, it's just stapled at the top, and I am adding one of the little bow paper clips to the bottom of the banner just for some additional interest and texture. I do move things around a lot just to decide where I want it. So on the bottom we are going to be adding a small pocket. So I am using a little scrap of Whisper White card. So I have cut that at 3 inches by, no, 2.5 inches by about 2.25 inches. And then I'm going to score it at 1/4 inch on each of the sides and 1/4 inch along the bottom. Just scoring that up. You can just stick down the edges if you want, but if you do it with the flaps, it actually works slightly better. So I'm just folding in all of the flaps that I have just scored, and then I'm going to use some adhesive just to stick that down. I'm using mini glue dots for this. Just in the corners. And then I have actually, I'm just out of shot here, but I punched a heart shape in the pocket as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting, so you can see through the opening. And I've just marked where that heart is sitting, because what I did then was added some glitter washi tape just to that area so that it would peek through the little window in the pocket. So as you can see, the glitter is visible through the little window in there. I'm just tidying up some of the edges there. And just sticking the pocket down, just on the edges where the folds are. And every so often I just fold it back in and squish it all down just to make sure that everything sticks and it still closes properly. Just added some extra glue dots there just to make sure the pocket's secure when it is closed, because I had forgotten that the washi tape with the glitter on it is very hard to get things to stick to. So if I did this again, I would make sure there is none of the washi on the parts that need to stick down. But you live and you learn. So that is your little pocket. You could put whatever you like in there. I am just making a little tag to pop in there. So I have used my scissors just to trim off the top corners, and my little circle punch to put a hanging hole in the top, and then I brought out the flower punch just to punch a little accent at the bottom. And I am using ribbon, Whisper White and Real Red ribbon, which is in your embellishment bag, just to put through the hole on the top. And that is just going to be a cute little tag to slip into the pockets. You could write something on the tag if you wanted as well. I like, because there's a little flower punched out, you can actually see some of the glitter through there. And on the tag I popped a few blue and gold paper clips. We are now working on a little pocket again. So this piece is 2.5 wide by, I think it was 5.5 tall. And then I've just angled it. Didn't measure this, I just do it by eye. To trim off the corner, and that is going to be like a little corner pocket. I've just scored one edge at 1/4 inch and the bottom at 1/4 inch. Just to make it easier again to attach. You can just glue the edges, but I prefer doing it this way. I'm just using the bone folder just to make sure that it's properly folded. And that is just going to sit there. I changed my mind and thought I would put it on the back. I'm just using a little bit of snail again. I use snail for most of my projects because it's just so handy in the little dispenser. And you can get refills very easily for it. So just sticking that pocket down, and I leave the right hand side of the pocket open because I just think it makes it easier to slip your things in and out. So I'm just decorating up the pocket with some of the little flower punches and the pearl accents for the middle. Just making it look pretty. Then I actually made a little bit of a boo-boo here with my stamp, so I decided to stamp it on one of the little notes out of the die cuts bag, and it's just a little snail that says better than email, which is from one of the Stampin' Up stamp sets. Because I decided this was going to be the pocket that had the letter in it. Now I am working on the front cover, and I decided to use some of the white heart shapes that are in the die cut bag and add on a couple of the red arrows. But those felt like they were getting a little bit lost, so I cut off another piece of the Pool Party cardstock, measuring about 2 inches, and got that trusty banner punch back out. That has to be my most used purchase from Stampin' Up, because it does all the different sizes in the one punch. Well, it does 3 different sizes, but you can make it work for other sizes too, and I love it. So yep, I decided just to glue that on there to the front cover, and I am using just put a stick. And then going ahead and adding the hearts and the arrow die cuts too. After I did that, I cut a small piece of Whisper White cardstock and punched it on both ends with the banner punch, just to make a cute little label, which I am then stamping with a little sentiment from the matching stamp set. So I've just used the Sending Love sentiment from the stamp set just to glue that on the front there. You could handwrite it, or you could put your pen pal's name or do whatever you would like on there. So that is us with one page left to do. I did have a thought at this point that I will use a little binder clip to fasten it shut. We are doing the last one and having a little think about what to put on the page, and I decided I was going to go with a little flap and put a So I'm just using a piece of Whisper White cardstock with the corners rounded, and that is going to be for my coat. And then I just have a scrap of the DSP paper from the kit, and I'm attaching that with some washi tape. I like to put it on the top and underneath just to secure the flap properly, and of course rounding off my edges. I'm then going ahead and writing out a little quote about friendship, doing it in pencil first and then going over it with some gold paint pen. I believe the quote was, "The friends we make along the way make us appreciate the journey," something about that. So this is me just writing it out. I always like to write it in pencil first in case I make a boo-boo, which has been known to happen quite often. In fact, I think you can see me rubbing out about 3 or 4 times in this. So that is the little quote, and I'm just going over it with the gold paint pen. And then I'm going to leave that aside to dry for just a second, so you can see the finished quotes. Just popping that out of the way to dry. And then the last little finishing touch that I am going to do is create a little pocket out of the glassine sheets, and they are kind of see-through, almost like vellum. So I've just folded that up and fastened the sides with a little staple, and then I'm going to fix it there. But I also stuck a little heart die cut, the little row of hearts, on the front of the little pockets, and then I am just going to stick that down. See how that one goes. So once that is attached, I need something to put in the pocket. I haven't actually attached it yet, but we still need something to put in the pocket. So I've just cut out a little strip of stick-on jewels, stapled it to a piece of card, popped that inside. And by now the little quote card is dry, so it can also get attached. So just gluing that on there with the trusty little snail, so we can lift the flap and see the nice little quote. And that is the book finished. But then I remembered that because I moved the letter to the other pocket, there was nothing inside that secretarial pocket. So I'm just going to run up a quick journal card. This is a great way to use up scraps of paper, and it's one of the things I usually do in the Kill With My Kit session. You can get journal cards and Project Life card type things. They're known by a couple of different names. They are usually 4 inches by 3 inches. That is what I've cut down. And then I'm just trimming some little pieces of scrap cardstock down in the Pool Party and the Real Red. And coming in with that trusty banner punch again. You're probably going to be sick of me talking about that trusty banner punch by the end of this workshop, but I really do love it. So just cutting out a couple of different little banners, different sizes. Going in there with the corner rounder. My corner rounder is the Stampin' Up! Project Life corner punch. and I believe it is in the retirement area because Stampin' Up! They're no longer doing Project Life, being replaced by their own product. So you may even pick up a bargain if there's any left. So I'm just gluing those little banners down and layering it up. Starting with Pool Party, then the Real Reds. And then I have added on a teeny tiny little paper clip. Those are the most adorable paper clips I've ever seen. I'm going to have to buy more. There we go. You could leave it just like that, but I decided I was going to add on one of the little die cut arrows just to give it a little bit of extra and to tie it in with the rest of the book. There we go. So that is just tucking inside the little secretarial pocket there. And that completes your flipbook. So as I said earlier, I decided I would close it up with a binder clip. So you've got your little tags, your lift the flap, little gems, and room for your letter. So just popping on the blue binder clip and flipping it closed, and that closes over your book. Now if I got my measurements right, there is